Hello, this is my final presentation of Genius Hour. So I decided to name my project Teaching Myself Self-Discipline. So for this project, in this presentation, I wanted to show what I used for my project and the data for all the weeks. And I also wanted to show how I wrote all my data on the document. So this is the bike I used. And that is a treadmill I use as well. I used an app to track all my miles when bike riding, and on the little screen on the treadmill, that is where it told me the miles I ran. So this is the app I use to track my miles when biking. I found this app on YouTube. This is when it was week 1. I was just researching all my information, and I found a video where it showed me this app where it can track all your miles when biking and running. So this is how I wrote my data on the document. So I would put my data for biking, running, biking. That is how I did my exercise. I would go Monday through Friday, but I would bike and then run and then bike. Under that, you can see that I put what I ate. So I would just eat in smaller portions. On the right hand side, you can see the actual calendar, how I wrote it down. So I would just say I went biking for 2 miles, and the next day I would just say I ran for 2 miles on the treadmill. So this is week 1 where I had to research, like I said. But I had 2 extra days where I could exercise, and I decided to. So I decided to go biking first. I did 2 miles that week 1. I did it in 18 minutes, and then I went running on the treadmill for 2 miles, which took me a little bit longer. It was at least like 30 minutes. Yeah, and it was not fun the first week. Week 2, we can see a little bit of improvement on biking. It went from, I think it was 17 minutes to 15 on Monday, and then it went to 16 minutes biking. It went up a little bit, and then it went down again for Friday, which is 15:49 again. So this is week 3. I got this week was the week I wanted to go for 3 miles. So that week I did it in 21 minutes. Running, I went 3 minutes again, but that week it was 3 miles running, but I did it in about 40 minutes. Biking again, I went 1 minute under, or not really a minute. It was a couple seconds faster. And again, I went up to 21. Week 4 and 5. This is where my family and I got sick with COVID-19, so I couldn't really do nothing for about 2 weeks. So I didn't collect data. I didn't collect my my diet, you can say. Week 6. This is week 6 coming in from COVID-19. So I couldn't really run or bike because I still had that cough that was bothering me all the time. So I only did 2 miles, so I had to really start all over from 0. Week 7, I felt a little bit better, but I still had that cough on Monday, so it took me a little bit longer to get that 2 miles. I did running 2 miles again. But Wednesday, this is the day I felt much better. I felt like I could run for the longest time. So I got 13 minutes, which was the fastest I've ever done it from week 1. On Friday for biking, I also did it in 13, but it was just a couple seconds more that I finished it in. Week 8, this is where I wanted to try and run up to 4 miles, so I decided to go biking for 1 mile. So Tuesday, you can see that I ran for 3.5 miles, and then Thursday, that's when I decided to go for 4 miles, and I think I did that in about 45 minutes, if I recall. Week 9, I didn't really do much. I just felt really overwhelmed with homework, and I think I could have probably done like at least 2 days, but that's where the effort comes in, and that's where you don't decide to do it. Week 10, Monday I decided to go for 5 miles because I didn't run week 9. I was like, okay, let's run for 5 miles. So I did it in 41 minutes biking. Running, it was 1 mile for the week. Wednesday, I didn't go biking because I had to go work with my dad. So Thursday, I did running again for 1 mile, and Friday, it was 5 miles. And I did it in, I think, 3 minutes faster, 2 to 3 minutes faster. So these are some reflection questions I would like to answer, and the grading I would give myself. So the first question, beginning compared to where you ended. When I compare my project from beginning to the end, I think I did improve because I went from doing 2 miles to doing 4 to 5 miles. And yes, I didn't do the 4 and 5 miles like I wanted to. Like I wanted to do 4 to 5 miles starting about week 5 and 6, but I couldn't. But I'm glad I at least got to do them. Yes, so are you continuing this project? Yes, I think I'm going to keep on going with this project. I think it was pretty fun to go out at a time like this where you really can't go out and socialize. So right now that it is getting cold, I think I might just be running inside and not going outside. So what kind of growth did you see? The growth I saw was me getting faster on times when biking and running. So for example, when I would bike 17 minutes, the next day I would try to beat that and do 15 minutes, and that's kind of a growth that I saw. So are there any changes you wish you did? Some changes I could have done is probably maybe set a time, not just the day I would run and bike. So for example, let's say I would run or bike Monday through Friday, but I would run at 5 p.m. So I actually have a time and finish that. So what was the most difficult / least difficult part of your project? So the most difficult part of my project was at the beginning, which was me actually getting out of the house and going for the bike rides, or me getting off the couch and going to the treadmill and running. And the least difficult part was me running 2 miles. 2 miles wasn't really that much, but after getting those 2 to 3 weeks done and moving on to 3 to 4 and 5, it did get a little bit more tiring because I was not used to it. So were there any obstacles you had to overcome? Yes, there were some obstacles I had to go through. Like for example, when my bike would get flat, I would have to change the tube or sometimes patch the tube. And one of those times I got my dad to help me with it, so it was a good learning experience because he was actually able to teach me. The other obstacle was me getting sick with COVID-19, so I couldn't do much exercise. So coming back from that, from COVID, it was me technically restarting my project from 2 miles. So that was, I didn't really like that. So what grade would I give myself? I think the grade I can probably give myself is a 3.3 or a 3, because I think I could have done better in recording what I ate for my record what I ate for the project. And also for week 9, I could have probably put in at least 3 days. So that's where the effort comes in. And that I think I could have put more effort on that. So these are some more questions. So what were my goals? So my goals were that the first 2 to 3 weeks was to be running 2 to 3 miles and recording it. My second goal was to exercise 5 days a week and 2 days of resting, which would be Saturday and Sunday. Goal number 3 would be recording what I ate and eating in smaller portions and taking off that unhealthy things like, let's say, soda or chips. So goal number 4 was that at the end of the project I wanted to run 5 miles and bike. My goal number 5 was to try and discipline myself to a certain schedule to be able to learn how to manage my different goals that I have. That I meet all my goals. I think I met some of my goals, not all of them. Like goal number 2, you can see that on some days I didn't go all 5 days. So that's, you can say, one that I kind of failed and kind of not, you can say. Goal number 3, I didn't record all what I ate for every single week. So that was another one. I think I got goal number 1 down, goal number 4, because I actually got to the 5 miles. Not like I wanted to, but I kind of got there. And goal number 5, I think I'm still working on that, but I think I was able to keep going for at least 10 weeks, even though week 4 and 5 I got sick, and week 9 I felt a little bit overwhelmed. So why did I choose this project? I chose this project because every time I would say I'm going to start running or biking, I would quit like the next 2 days. So with this project, I was able to push myself. So how did I feel about this project? Well, I think this project was really fun and I enjoyed it. Like I said, this project really pushed me to actually run for a few weeks, not just 2 days. Yes, it was tiring at some points, but it was worth it. So if you could do this project over, what would you do different? I think I would probably just, like I've been saying, I would focus more on logging what I ate, because I would forget sometimes, and I think logging what you eat shows that you're disciplined and you're determined to keep going or finishing that project you have or that goal you have. And did you see, or do you see, any self-improvement? Yes, I think I saw some self-improvement. So for example, I would get faster times when running and biking, but most importantly, I saw improvement in myself, that when you want to quit or just give up, sometimes you just gotta keep going. It doesn't matter the pain, because when you get to that finish line or that goal that you wanted to finish, it feels really good. That's all I have for this presentation, and thank you for listening to me.